Good morning! I'm so excited to introduce Reality OS today. Tim, before you announce it, we're supposed to file the trademark. We haven't filed the trademark yet. No worries, Apple legal team. We can do that over the course of the next couple days. Why would we wait a couple days? Can't someone else file the trademark that amount of time? I don't think we should announce things we don't officially own yet. No problem. We have all the money in the world. We can buy out whatever company files this trademark. That's not a good use of funds, Tim, but I guess your logic cannot be questioned. Thank you for your ever-knowing leadership. You're absolutely welcome. Let me just check the mail really quick. Oh, we're being sued again. Whoopsie, I guess they're gonna win again. Let's begin. So I'm all about trying to set expectations realistic, okay? I'm not trying to be the party pooper here. I look around the tech community right now and everyone's convinced, and I've seen this before leading up to several Apple events, that this is going to be the biggest event ever. We're gonna get Apple Glass, we're gonna get augmented reality headset, we're getting Reality OS, we're gonna get new Mac Pro silicon, we're gonna get MacBook Air redesign, and oh yeah, I guess at the developer conference we could launch a few operating system updates, but this is mostly gonna be a hardware event, right? Considering the announcement was literally the Swift icon, I hate to be the voice of reason canceling everyone's plans here, but I really think we should expect this to be a software event primarily, and frankly, I think the whole hype around Reality OS being announced is grasping at a lot of straws in trying to build a bridge the size of the Golden Gate using these straws, okay? Because a lot of these trademarks that are being reported on are not even officially from Apple. They are from some kind of company filing for a Reality OS trademark, which by the way is being spelt with a capital R, despite the fact that all of Apple's operating systems are starting with the lowercase. But this Reality OS is being trademarked alongside a device that's being used as a wearable computing device of some kind, and people are just kind of assuming and inferring that because the foreign filing date, not the actual filing date, but because the international filing date is 2 days after WWDC, that somehow means that Apple is going to announce Reality OS 2 days before the foreign filing date completes. Now, for one, I don't see the logic in internationally filing after the announcement takes place, but I guess there have been a handful of occasions where Apple has done similar trademark filing for macOS names, but keep in mind that if you go down the trademark route, you will find a crap ton of things Apple owns but does not use. For one, they've had the name macOS Mammoth for years and haven't really turned it into anything. So it's very possible that maybe in the future, Apple wants to introduce and unveil Reality OS, but just for the fact that they're updating their trademarks this year does not guarantee it is happening. There's been talks and reports about Reality OS ever since 2017, when there were rumors and leakers claiming that Apple would have an AR headset ready by 2020. It is now halfway through 2022, it's still not out, so I really wouldn't put too much faith in somehow it just has to be this year, because I don't know, Invite Image had someone wearing a pair of glasses, so that means AR glasses is officially happening. But the actual filing date for Reality OS was back in December, and legally, for foreign filing policy, they have to update it 6 months after that December filing. So some people are saying there's no way this is just a coincidence, but in my view, it absolutely is, especially considering it's not on the exact same day as WWDC, it's 2 days after, which in my view is not particularly out of the ordinary considering that Apple's trademark office is constantly filing for names and trademarks, and again, in the case of Reality OS, we don't even really have confirmation that it's Apple. It could very possibly, and I know some people are going to want to write this off because you have so much hype and anticipation built up in your head, but it's very possible that another company out there read about this term Reality OS because it's been in the news and it's been talked about for years. Ever since 2017, we've known that Apple is working on some kind of AR development, and the operating system for this AR tech would be called Reality OS. It's possible another company is trying to trademark that so that Apple will have to pay them upfront to have access to that name or royalties on that name, for the same reason Apple lost the whole iWatch debacle, because as soon as Apple came out with the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, lots of other copycat companies were like, hey, we can trademark those names before Apple gets to them, and that's why we don't call this an iWatch, despite a lot of the public still thinking it should be. But if you don't believe in my legal jargon, or you don't believe in me writing it off as coincidence, here's something that very rarely happens. Mark Gurman and Ming-Chi Kuo agree on something not happening, okay? It's one thing if we measure the accuracy of leakers and analysts saying this is going to happen, and then we find out does it or does it not happen. But if you measure the accuracy of leakers and analysts saying something won't happen, that's where all of their percentages go way, way up, okay? Like, most of these guys are gonna have a 95 to 99% track record accuracy if you measure what they claim will not happen. And that's because in the leak community, there's a lot of fake info, there's a lot of trolling, there's a lot of people that will say things for the sake of clicks because they know it will generate hype and bring more internet traffic to their websites or their YouTube channels, get a lot of traffic, so there's tremendous incentive to be gullible and to lie about upcoming information. There's not much incentive to do what basically I'm doing and say that, no, this event might actually be pretty boring and you're probably setting yourself up for disappointment. That's not very clickbaity and it doesn't drive a lot of attention and it's easy to write off and say, yeah, what does he know? What is he talking about? But I don't really care how many views my channel generates anyway. So end of the day, what is incredibly rare is for these two reliable sources to both claim something is not ready and these trademarks are just a coincidence that they happen to be a couple days after WWDC. And again, that's the foreign filing policy, not the actual filing policy. And again, this is not even confirmed to be Apple at the end of the day. And they're both saying, yes, Apple is working on an AR headset and they've showed it off to the board recently, but both sources are claiming the tech isn't ready yet. They're not going to unveil it on Monday. Maybe they're going to unveil it later in the year, and with all of the China shutdowns right now and chip shortages and that kind of thing, it's very possible that the AR headset could be delayed yet again internally back into 2023 until Apple is ready to mass produce them. And behind all of these doubts and all of these sources who have reputable track records saying this will not happen, you also have me that's saying I just don't see how the AR headset would align with much of what Apple is pushing right now. They're all about services and getting people to check out TV Plus and iCloud, and I've just seen so much hype and expectations of hardware at WWDC so many times in a row now, only for it to be let down with, actually, this is just a software event at the end of the day, that I will go ahead, go against the grain and say, I don't think we're getting hardware next week. I could be wrong. This video could be aging like a fine milk or a fine wine, but probably nothing in between. But if my wrong prediction ends up keeping expectations realistic so that people are decently surprised when there is hardware next week, then I would say it's all worth it. You know, I'm all in favor of there being hardware if Apple has it ready. That would be exciting and there would be lots of things to talk about, and of course we can cross that bridge when we get there, but I just don't want to go into a developer and software focused event expecting there to be hardware when, since the pandemic and virtual events, Apple has been very obviously happy to have way more events than they used to because it's far cheaper to make, and simultaneously they don't want too many announcements overshadowing each other. They just want more dedicated events where you can talk about the new announcements and you don't have too many things overlapping in the media at once. And I think if they announced Reality OS right now, everyone would gloss over all of the new and exciting changes to iOS and Mac OS and all that. And Apple probably just wants the media to focus on the software right now. And Reality OS and the AR headset is going to take up so much stage time. There's going to be so many demos and things to talk about. I don't think it makes sense to announce it alongside all of your iOS 16 updates, or even if the Mac Pro unveiling or MacBook Air unveiling happens this week. That's just going to be way too much for a single event. As cool as it would be, and I wish Apple had big major events like this, I think it's too much wishful thinking, and based on their previous behavior with virtual events, I'm not expecting it, and I don't think you should either. So feel free to disagree with me. I get a lot of things wrong too. Happily come back in a week and tell me how wrong I am in the comments. It'll be hilarious. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I'll see you all in the next one.